Bonjour, bonsoir, dear friends. We have an amazing talent. We have a naturally born artist. On the canvas, she paints as well on wood and all kinds of different support. She's an amazing, incredible artist, songwriter, and a singer. She won all kinds of accolades, and she's going to tell us all about it because she's from Napa Valley. Dear friends, Hal Mountain and Calistoga and the heart of Santa Helena, we have a fantastic lady, Kristen McNamara.
Hey!
Dear friends, listen to this. Aren't we lucky? Woo! Woo-hoo!
Cheers.
Cheers. Bonjour.
Bonjour.
So I'm going to feed you. Don't move your beautiful hands.
Oh.
I've never done that, dear friends, yet on our JCB Live. But that should fuel some great energy.
Oh, yeah.
For some good sounds. Are we ready?
Always. You never know where you are going. Trouble is, you need more wine.
I'm going for it.
There you go. Sometimes you have to fall apart to come together and unwind.
Not only she's gorgeous, not only she has unbelievable beautiful eyes, and her mother is with us in the studio, so we could tell it comes from mother to daughter. Beautiful lips, gorgeous teeth, and what a voice!
Thank you.
Well, how did you discover you had such an amazing voice?
It's genetic. Everybody, that's also genetic. My grandmother was a singer, and everybody in our family did music one way or another.
Wow.
So, yeah.
And how did you discover that tone? Where you are on your tone? Because this is so powerful, so deep, so, meaningful as well for storytelling.
Yes, and storytelling is my favorite thing to do.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that it's just connecting. I connect with experiences deeply, very deeply.
So, as we're going to go deep today, dear friends, because Kristen mentioned to me that from being a homeless to being a star to discovering herself to really going on high and low is what we'll talk about, because at this time of the year, it's the perfect thing to realize the true talents we may have, and as well to go low to understand that then we can only go up.
It's true.
So that's a great inspiration for
Yes.
everyone.
Yeah. I mean, I could have come home. Of course, my parents have always kept the door wide open, but for me, it was important for me to experience the lows so that I knew where to go, and how to inspire others.
And why did you go low?
Some of it was the fault of fraudulent investors or lying people in the music industry. Meets, I think that possibly not understanding why the world was so cruel and mean, and learning to wear my armor and learning to turn an unfortunate situation into a positive one, which is my mantra constantly.
Yeah.
And so I am so grateful for those moments, because now I've learned how to glide and sail through it.
Oof, I'm going to drink to that, because not easy to go through tough times and succeed to come out of it.
True.
As you're tasting bubbles,
Yes.
by the way, tell us, you're a true wine aficionado, and you have a lot of knowledge. You raised on the vineyards on a 20-acre estate.
Yeah.
So you know everything about grapes.
We don't have vineyards yet, but maybe someday.
Well, I'm sure you will soon. What do you think of that? Is it inspiring?
Very. I mean, of course it is.
Can you believe this is, in fact, Napa Valley Blanc de Blanc? And as you could see, the wine is so much appropriate to you. It's called Le Cabaret.
Oh, yes.
Do you
You're
like
not going to be able to
cabaret?
get rid of me. I can already tell.
Never. I never want to get rid of you.
I love your style.
I want to live in our world at all time.
That's right.
Well, we in the wine world inspire not just only food, but I think it's all forms of arts. And this is why we created this wine, Le Cabaret, because I love cabaret show.
Yes.
It's my lifelong passion. Moulin Rouge, Lido, Paradis Latin, Crazy Horse,
Yes.
all those phenomenal wine in Paris and many others around the world. So we created a wine for them
Yeah.
and
wow.
for the celebration of the art of the show.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
So as we speak talent, how do you become a songwriter and a great artist that you are, from playing the guitar to other instruments to singing? How does that happen? Because I know many of you have talents
Yeah.
and many of you want to do it, but how do you make the jump?
Following your heart,
Mm-hmm.
discipline,
Yes.
commitment,
Yes.
and being vulnerable. And when you're vulnerable and you're able to express your emotions
Yes.
and you use creativity, no matter what business you're in, that's where it's at. That's how you just go from. It's literally like a light switch. It's not easy to do, but it is very simple.
Huh.
You just have to be very inside of your. You have to be driven, and you have to really want it.
And how did you switch on your switch?
Well, how do I switch my switch on?
Yes, thank you. Better English. God, a Frenchman trying.
Well, I don't know that I think I probably was born with my switch
Yeah.
on a little bit.
For sure.
And I'm just really passionate about creativity, and that's always kept me going. So, it's I'm learning later in life that it's all about removing the distractions that do not serve you and your goals, and to allow yourself to have the time, selfishly, to discover what it is that you truly want and what your why is. Because if you don't have that, you're not going to keep going.
And did you ask your why and have an answer quickly, saying, I'm all about music and art in general? Or did you ever think of another path, or had another path and then went back into it? And I ask because, our very good friend John Legend, who tried, was in finance for a while because it was very difficult to break through. And we've had him and I this discussion all the time that, as you said, discipline, perseverance.
Yeah.
But, he had to do something else to make a living for a while. So what about you?
That's where the painting came in for me, was that helped me financially and not overuse my voice. But of course, because I started so young, I've had multiple levels of answering that, actually.
Yes.
So, it's really, I started out naturally just being attracted to the arts.
Yes.
And it was inside of my heart, and it's genetic, and it's in my bloodline. And so that in itself was a huge part of it. Yeah. But, for the ups and downs and getting through it, it just always goes back to, what do you want and how bad do you want it and what kind of life do you want to live?
Did you say, when you say how bad you want it, your guitar played for you?
Yeah, it sure did.
Did you hear
it just
the
took
sound?
it did an adjustment. It did an adjustment. But I believe in experience. I believe in this world, and I believe in taking things in this world and creating even more magical experience. I've always loved going around and experiencing life and different things that people are afraid to do, or maybe they don't think to do it. I naturally just kind of go for things like that, and then sharing that with people through storytelling and things like that. And that has sort of become my main focus, no matter what I'm doing, whether it's a painting or singing, or even if I'm doing something unrelated to the arts. I usually try to at least somehow have some sort of creative attachment involved.
Very exciting. So tell us a little bit about songwriting, because you do a lot of your own songs as well.
Yeah.
So what's the process?
Well, I used to write and then hide the lyrics under my bed and hide them from my parents because those are my musical diaries, you know. So I started to co-write with other people, and I would blame them, you know, oh, that's their thoughts. But really, the whole time, these were my feelings and experiences. And so it started out that way. And now, you know, you could be sipping on bubbles, or you can be around other creatives and you get these ideas, and whether it starts with the guitar or a melody or a lyric, it's different for everyone. For me, it's like a wild card every time.
So as we have many friends from all around the world, we have your guitar. Would you be willing to just give us how you feel right now on the music and the guitars and show us
Sure.
one of your pieces?
Sure.
Fantastic.
I will do a song that actually I wrote in Key West,
Yes.
which is where I live when I'm not here.
Uh-huh.
And
Key West, Florida, of course.
Yes.
As you know, it's at the tip of
you
the
have to excuse me
beautiful...
because my guitar pick is somewhere inside of my
We like it.
inside
I'm
of
looking.
my outfit. I think it slipped a little bit
And
deeper
it's a
than I
beautiful
expected.
Taylor guitar. Is it the best guitars ever? So now, after a few seconds of searching, I was proposing myself to go there, but maybe not.
I think I found it. There we go.
Kristen found, you call that the pick?
Yes.
Very cool. Always turquoise for you?
Not always. And then I guess I could have taken my earring off and I could have.
Yeah, because those are guitar picks as well.
Yeah.
Right? So cool. Wow.
So I was in Los Angeles, and I got involved with fraudulent investors and was in Malibu actually, and basically I had to figure out my life, and I had been to Key West just a few weeks prior. And I met a Royal Navy fighter pilot who convinced me to stay in Key West when I was there for a music festival. And we ended up breaking up. And he called me one day and he said, I just don't feel the same as I did when we were in Key West.
Okay.
So at this time I was quite brokenhearted. And so I went back to Key West. He said, meet me on Duval Street if you ever change your mind. Well, he didn't show up. And so I went to the beach to paint. And it started to rain, and it was ruining my artwork. And so I went underneath an awning at the hotel, and unfortunately what I was leaning up against got struck by lightning.
What?
Yeah, and I went flying forward about 3 feet, and the manager of the hotel said, Miss McNamara, we'd like for you to go to the ER. And I said, sir, with all due respect, if I have 5 minutes of brain left, I'm going to write a song. And this is what I wrote.
Thank you for sharing.
You're
with
welcome.
us. Wow.
If you ever change your mind, the 1st of May will never disappear. When you grabbed my name and we sat on the pier, falling for a stranger who did tricks up in the sky, asking me to stay, so all my friends left me behind. Dreams to sail the open sea, as the tide would come and set me free. Meet me on Duval Street, sit on rooftops and drink a bottle of wine. We could save the ocean and let the tide rewind. The night we met on the corner of Duval and Caroline. Meet me on
Does he know how much he's missing?
Oh, yes.
Never getting back. Air Force pilot, you should keep your feet down the ground a little bit. Because I'm on Divorce Street now.
That's funny. So,
Well, this is phenomenal. So
you.
after Lightning, you wrote it.
Yeah.
And you made your home Key West now? And why Key West?
The freedom of being creative without judgment. It's like a playground for creatives. Nobody will say that sucks or that's, nobody's negative there, and it allows you to sort of just kind of let it out, and that support, I think, is what I was missing for many years. And now I'm, because of that, I'm able to now leave Key West more often and deliver, I think, the art and music I was always meant to be, with the confidence and that support.
So that town gave you, that area, that confidence to do it.
Yes.
It's great to find that place where we feel creative. And,
Yes.
Why does the world judge so much, right? I think the frustration of others is because they cannot do it. That's maybe often what I think.
I just don't think a lot of people were taught that it's okay to be different, and it's okay to be, creative. I think that was that's a lost thing, and that's what I want to spread to people.
And for you, what is to be different?
To be different is to be yourself.
Yeah.
Because there's only one of each and every one of us.
That's right.
And
I want to make sure you stay hydrated after
cheers.
All that great music. There's only every one of us.
Yes. Yes. But I think sharing with the world through storytelling has become, especially after the pandemic.
Yes.
And during the pandemic, it really made me question, I love performing, but I really feel the need to bring the presence on the internet more.
Yes.
Which is something that I hadn't really done. And the big learning experience was how many people I was able to touch and have in that moment. And you asked me originally, the core meaning and value and the inspiration for doing what I want to do. And it's such a hard question to answer, but I think if I think back to my very first memory, because that evolves, and the why. But my why started out, I loved just being creative. It made me feel good. And when I was doing that, I was a better person to not only myself, but to others. But I was singing in San Francisco, and I think I was like 15 years old. And I was singing at the Cow Palace.
Wow, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
That's a huge deal.
Yeah. And I had never really sang a whole lot in front of a lot of people yet. And there was not a lot of people there sometimes, and sometimes there was. I did multiple days. And one day there was a girl standing in the back, and she bought a CD and a few months later wrote a letter, and it said, I don't have anywhere to go. I had $20 in my pocket, and that's all I had, and I used it to buy your CD. And I was going to take my own life that day, and I chose not to because you reminded me that it's okay to live your dreams. And that was really heavy at 15.
Wow, you give me shivers.
But
I'm
that
only
stuck with me.
48, but you still give me shivers.
But it was really deep, and I didn't know at the time how to take that. It was.
Did you contact her afterwards?
Yes, I wrote her back, and I remember vividly writing her back, and it changed the reason that I did music. I didn't realize how powerful it was, and whether it's sad or it's happy or it's emotion, it's nice to have a buddy to go through that with, even if you're not willing to do it in front of people. So music, for me, is that buddy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, music is not the only artistic expression that you provide to us.
Yeah, that's true.
So how How did you discover your unbelievable talent for painting?
Well, I was probably painting and singing as I was a child, just for fun. And it evolved into multiple forms of art. Some of it, as you said, is on wood. Some of it's on metal.
Yeah.
I'm bored easily, so I like to keep things exciting and
We have a lot of that in common.
Yeah, right? So, but it makes things, I mean, our motto from my Uncle Gary was, why have one when you can have two?
For sure.
And why not make life even more magical, you know, and add to that? And so for me, creating art was a big part of that. And I've painted on stage in New York City. I've painted on stage in San Francisco. And I've also painted behind the scenes when I'm not doing music. And I've also painted people's bodies.
I love that. So let's start maybe with a beautiful painting you have there.
Yeah.
And not that we want to leave the guitar because you're so talented. It's so exciting to be able to witness, someone with so many talents and not just even having so many talents, using all those talents.
Sure.
Because it's one thing to say, okay, I could do X, Y, Z. It's another to just attack and do it.
A lot of the art was a learned process for me because a lot of it is technique. And so while talent is definitely in there, for me, singing came a little bit more natural than just painting.
Yeah.
But this painting actually is one of the most simple paintings I've ever done. Usually it's of the ocean, but this one specifically is of the view.
From your house?
I added a little bit of a lake here, but all of this was inspired by the mountains that are directly behind us here.
Mm-hmm.
And then the trees are also inspired by Hell Mountain and these trees right here. I used the
Well,
ashes.
before you go there, I need to have you finish. I know you could finish a glass of wine.
Of course.
Because I'm going to serve you the famous 2016 Hell Mountain. Did you see that? It helps her voice to be better.
It's true.
Cabaret every day.
It's true.
And then you're going to sing like Kristen.
Yeah.
So as you're describing your landscape, because what is very important is, I said it, but in case you didn't hear, Kristen was raised in Napa Valley into a magical place with a view.
Yes.
Naturally, that is this one. And we've lived a few dramatic moments, as every one of us have. So we're not trying to make it bigger or lesser than it is. But, it's not always easy. And we went through the fires recently.
Right.
So that inspired you to use some of the...
Yes, exactly. So I did grow up on 21 acres. And we lost about 7 acres to the wildfire, the glass fire. And I was traumatized because those trees are my friends.
Yeah, for sure.
They watched me grow like I watched them grow.
Well said.
100 years old plus 100 feet tall. So to see them burn was really awful for me. However, I'm always trying to turn an unfortunate situation into, even if it's not necessarily positive, some sort of creative aspect to, whether it's honor, celebrate, remember a moment in time.
For sure, and take the positive out of it.
Exactly.
We were discussing just before starting the show. I mean, we can look at the world in so many different ways. Mm-hmm. You could live in depression with all those pills that allows you to be antidepressing, or you could just look at the glass full and say, that's how I'm going to live my life. And whatever happens, like you have, turn into a positive situation.
Yeah, and it took me weeks. I actually collected the ashes off the trees, and I didn't know what to do. And then one day I was like, that's it. I'm going to do a painting. Wow. So these trees here that are black are using the ashes, and I made the paint pigment with eggs.
Egg white?
Actually, it's egg yolk with a little bit of egg white.
Yeah, it's an old technique, dear friends.
Yes.
Leonardo da Vinci used to do it.
It's true.
And Michelangelo,
Yep.
Unche.
Yep.
No, I say that because it's so cool that you
It's
know
true.
it.
Yes.
Because
That's their recipes are exactly what I followed to do this. So
wow.
yeah. And I was gonna sell it right away, and then I decided to wait. And so when I decide to sell this, I'm going to donate a portion of it
Yeah.
to the Pope Valley and Angwin volunteer fire departments.
Well, and it's maybe something we all do at some stage. We think
Sure.
of an idea together with wine and,
Yeah.
where we can obviously raise more by collaborating together
Of course.
and give back
Of
because
course.
we did a lot of that during the fires.
Yeah.
We did an amazing event with Thomas Cellar and a few other chefs and
Nice. That was my first job, was working at the French Laundry. I bet nobody knew that.
so she's into culinary arts as well.
Yeah.
Well-
I was like 17 though.
Well, that's a good way to start. And here we go. So I'm going to ask you to describe this wine because obviously, as you just told us,
Put this
How
pick in a
mounted-
safe spot.
yeah, I know where it is now. I can see it. I'm looking at beauty.
And art, right?
I'm into feminine sculpture.
Oh,
Guess
really?
why?
That's great.
Well, I'm into those enormous, fascinated, feminine, artistic sculpture throughout time. I have every single book there is written on arts from femininity all the way
Yes.
from Nefertiti, Egypt, the Etruscans, the Phoenicians, the Greeks, the Romans, the French,
Yes.
all of it. And I want to dedicate soon a room of all the artwork ever done on women's body.
Femininity is very, very important to keep alive.
That's the most beautiful thing there is. And we're about to dedicate some areas in terms of femininity. The wine made here today is made by Stephanie Putnam, our
Okay.
winemaker.
Okay.
11 years at Raymond. Kathy George, 40 years at Raymond. And Sophie Drucker. So this wine, like you, is a product of femininity.
Okay.
Maybe I'm going to borrow your guitar and start to sing. And then it's going to pour
I
rain for
love
months. Or we're going to
love
break
it.
the glass.
I love it.
Tell us, what does it inspire you?
So, as a creative, you can ask me something like that, and I can either paint a picture in my
Yes,
mind
do.
instantly, which is maybe a dark room with, yeah, minus all the lights, of course, but a dark.
Well, it's to highlight your beauty today.
Oh, well.
I wish it was dark on that side because of my wrinkles and highlights
Oh, stop.
beauty and youth and perfection.
Oh, I think that this has a lot of personality.
Yes.
Yeah, I like it.
Well, made by a woman cannot be blunt.
But a dark room with a lot of personality, which is a lot of fun.
And we are, dear friend, at Secret Indulgence.
Yeah.
Not that you all know what it is, but if you do, you know what I mean. So, you're known to wear paint as your fragrance.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Well,
I'm with you. I love paint smell.
so, but the paint that I like to put on the body actually smells like green apples.
All right.
Yeah, yeah. And
So,
it's,
how did you get there? Is it a composition you've created?
well, it's a combination of a lot of different things. But as far as the actual paints, they're made here in the U.S. and it's amazing. They're alcohol-based paints, and when I paint a person, I at first was very nervous to do that, but it's so magical once the final product is done.
Yes.
Their expression and their confidence and their happiness just elevates immediately, and it makes it definitely worth the while.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe it's a new fragrance as JCB. You know, we have 5 fragrances
Yeah.
right now. that we've released that are very
Really?
unique. Yeah.
Okay.
And, making wine is like making perfume.
It's true.
Often, I don't even taste the wine, I just smell.
So what's interesting about that is when you're asking me, I can smell my childhood
Wow.
in this, and so that has for the probably 4 years ago I started to begin to notice something like that, and I'm like, those are the trees I grew up around. That's the soil I grew up playing in, and as I got older, those senses became like I can tell. It's strange. It's a very unique experience.
Well, I'm exactly as you are. I was raised on a vineyard in Burgundy.
Okay.
So instead of Cabernet Sauvignon, it's more Pinot Noir, but it's exactly what you just described. You have those...
It's very nostalgic.
Yeah, those sensory memories. So talking about nostalgia, you create, I understand, artwork when you perform.
Yes, sometimes I do.
So explain us that, because this is so cool. This is a full-on performance.
Yes, and it's a different style of art. And I haven't done this in a little while just because of the pandemic and not a lot of crowds. But when I'm doing artwork while I'm performing, the canvas is locked into an easel that you can spin, you can move around. And I have to obviously have a band with me because I can't be playing and at the same time.
I thought you had band. 2 or 3 other arms growing.
Right? I wish.
Like my Shiva.
I wish God had given me multiple arms like an octopus.
It would be dangerous. You would paint and play music at the same time.
That's how my brain looks for sure, and on the inside. But yeah, and the style of art is a lot more abstract and intense and dark. I use a lot of dark colors, and I usually have a ship or some sort of whimsical dripping paint and just different things, and it goes with the music. So it's whatever I'm feeling as the music is happening.
So can people see that on your website?
Not yet, but soon.
Ooh. Maybe on your Instagram or Facebook.
YouTube is the best way to follow me right now.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's
so. Dear friends, in the chat we will have obviously Kristen's fabulous YouTube, and so you can get to know her even more.
Yes.
Talking about knowing you, you've opened for a lot of great people.
Yeah.
Alan Jackson's and who else?
Yeah, a lot of different people. I've had the opportunity to either open for or work with people like Ryan Seacrest and Adam Lambert, and of course during American Idol, and then
wow,
definitely a lot of creatives and people who have reminded me that I'm not alone.
Yes.
And that there are people cut from the same cloth out there. So yeah, but I'm very lucky to have started so young that list of people that I've worked with. I read it sometimes and I go, oh wow, I'm very, very lucky to have worked with some amazing people.
And when you think of your inspiration, because I could see in your eyes, there's so much going.
Yeah.
And so many ideas flowing. Dear friends, I'm sure you could see it as well. Pretty striking. And I love it that we have so much light. So I see the beautiful.
The truth.
Well, and the truth is beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, on that, what inspires you?
What inspires me? I am inspired by life experience.
Yes.
I am inspired by when people and nature both take the time to slow down and just stop for a second.
Mm-hmm. Giving time.
Because I am one of those people that's like, oh, this and this and this. And I've learned that actually what inspires me to my core is that full experience. And when you are present, you are experiencing when you're not present and you're somewhere else, which is easy for me to do because I'm a creative and I'm always thinking and thinking and thinking.
Yes.
You know, but it's important to come here, and I've been my most creative and most inspired when I'm truly in a moment and then creating from that moment. So inspiration truly comes from simply experiencing life. There's the next version of that and the next step of that for me. I'm inspired by good vibes.
Yes.
I really am. I don't mind acknowledging hurtful and tough situations. I think it's important, but it's important to know when to move past that.
Yes.
And then experience life after that. And so that inspires me a lot, is kind of moving on past that dark moment. I'm inspired by that quite a bit.
Beautifully said.
Thanks.
And that's a great guidance for all of us during those holidays,
Yes.
too.
Yep.
Now, you're from Napa Valley.
Yeah.
What would you like to do as a performance in Napa? Let's say Raymond Vineyards, which we will, is opening the floor to you to do something, whatever it is.
Well,
Performance and paint. We invite all our guests, all our fabulous collectors and club
Yes.
members, and we do an event around, yourself. What would you like it to look like?
exciting.
Well, we know with you it will be.
I have to say, I love the Napa Valley. I've fallen more in love with it as I've gotten older.
That's right.
Because I've learned to appreciate, and I say that Key West allowed me to be creative, but let's not forget that this is where it started.
Yes.
And that foundation has not been thanked. And so if it were up to me, I would put on a show that is showing everything I've learned from the beginning to, and then fine-tuned through the 10 years that I've really been gone, and say thank you. Because
Wow.
if it weren't for this special place on earth, I would not be the artist I am today.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And I know your mother is with us, and I could see she's excited about the idea.
Are you? Oh my.
So we should plan it.
We should.
How many months do you need to get ready for that one? We'll get a few hundred people minimum together to come.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it depends on the parameters that I'm supposed to be working within, but I don't do very well with parameters, so you have to
We don't believe in any.
Oh, good. See?
Of course.
I've met my match right here.
We are limitless.
Man, Napa, you're in trouble now.
Well, the only limit is our imagination, as I always say to people.
Oh, yeah.
And we've done events and parties that are the best of the best. When you talk about body paint,
Yes.
we've done a lot of those as an example.
Yeah.
And luckily we have great weather, so
Yes.
we can obviously maximize this. We're not in Siberia, so we can
Yeah, that would
obviously
be
walk
cold.
around in the vineyards with less clothes than we typically have.
Yeah.
But it would be great. So if you could please think of us, and
I would love that. I mean.
we have amazing grounds at Raymond, and
Yes.
we bought a new winery in Elizabeth Spencer in Rutherford,
Okay.
which is so cool, and it's the corner of Rutherford, an amazing playground where music will be
Yeah.
so great because you're really looking at the Maikamas first sight.
Right.
Or here.
Right.
Either way.
Yeah. Oh, this is exciting.
So I was wondering if you would be willing to maybe, as it's the last minutes, dear friends, before the big question to Kristen in a moment, willing to do one more song
Yeah.
or one more, tributes to everyone with us today, because
Sure.
this show is going to live for a long time. And
Yes.
you're going to be on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, podcast, everywhere, and be
That's
part of our
exciting.
life. So,
That's so exciting. Yeah.
and I know you love dogs and truffles.
Oh, I do.
Tell us about that.
Okay. Well, I love truffles because, of course, who doesn't? But
Yeah.
but I named my dog Truffles,
Uh-huh.
and she has her own social media as well.
Wow.
You knew my soft spot, didn't you?
Well, I'm into Frenchy bulldogs.
Oh.
And he has his own winery named Frenchy Winery at the entrance of Raymond.
Oh, that's amazing.
Very cool. So maybe what we do is we're very close with the American Truffle Association and Truffle Truffle and Truffle Shuffle. And so we have a lot of friends in the truffle world, Ken Frank, Robert Chang, and a lot of great friends that are into the world of truffle. We're actually planting at the entrance of Raymond a truffle farm.
Are you really?
An orchard.
That's amazing.
So we should have you do an event with us and sing with our truffle festival.
And Truffle sings.
Yeah.
I didn't bring her today because I wanted to, really enjoy the moment without worrying about her. But she also sings.
I'm sure she does.
Stay tuned for that.
So Truffle sings and Frenchie farts. So we'll get them together.
That's a perfect combo.
Frenchie loves good-looking women, I could tell you that.
Oh, well, Truffles loves good-looking men, so it's a match made in heaven, right?
Here we are, we matchmaking. Frenchie, you're so lucky with me. So do you want to show us how the guitar can get us continuously inspired with you? Because
yes, I have to say, and I have to thank you, because I wish I had met you before now.
Well,
but
tell us why.
Because I feel understood and at home a bit without even knowing you very long. And I mentioned this to my mother in the car. I was like, when Veronica came to see my show in Key West, and in the moment I met her, I knew she was genuine.
Isn't she amazing?
Yes.
Can you believe her and I have been friends for a quarter of a century?
Well, I can see why.
She was only 10 at the time.
Really?
Yes.
Well,
we were in the same kindergarten.
Well, I felt that genuine good vibe, and then before you got to the depot, I got the same vibe from the others, and then when I met you, and it just goes to show.
Thank you.
That you are linked with good energy.
Well, between Veronica, between Patrick, between Dylan, and your mom who was with us, and you're going to see, dear friends, pictures of the depot, because you'll see pictures of the depot because we will have, if of course Kristen wishes, she'll perform there.
Absolutely.
Because we have a backstage which is between the outdoor and the indoor, where we're going to have a lot of artists perform in Calistoga at the depot. But before that, we'll have you perform with Truffles, and we'll have you at Raymond or Elizabeth Spencer do an amazing show for us.
I couldn't be more grateful, because I will say the one thing that I do feel that's missing from my life is doing what I love where I grew up.
Yes.
And I had to leave to learn and to experience, but to come back and do something like this and get more involved again and sharing my creativity with others and inspiring other people, which is my number one thing I'd like to do. I don't think that I could imagine a better way to do it.
We are with you. And we feel, going back home to Napa Valley, I'm very active on the board with our good friend Rick Walker from Festival Napa Valley, and around probably 40 friends that are watching us today. And it's all about classical music. But, what we want to do a lot more ourselves is bring phenomenal artists like you into Napa. It's not just about wine and food. Mm-hmm. It's about arts, and all the form of arts belong to this amazing place that is magnetic.
Yeah, it is.
It could be digital art. It could be street paints.
Well, I would love to make some NFTs. I think we should make some NFTs.
Well, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. We are launching ours.
Yeah.
Very soon. Dylan Elliott, who is our digital guru. He's right there. Look at him. He is leading the whole JCB Live, because that's what he's been doing since, March 17, St. Patrick's birthday, and my lovely wife's birthday. And now we're moving into another phase where we're going to be doing a lot of NFTs. He's been big into crypto and NFTs and all that. So,
I haven't made one,
well,
but I want to.
well, we will. And Chris McCard, who is with us as well, we're going to be launching one very soon. So-
Really?
oh, yeah.
I can't wait.
We deep into that world.
That's great.
Yeah.
See, I'm telling you. So I have a question for you.
Ooh.
I have a song called Pirate,
Yes.
and I have a song called Gypsies.
Let's go to the Gypsies.
Okay.
You were going to ask me which one of the two? Well, which one do you feel you should go to? Now that you've met me.
Well, both eventually, but I think
I'm a parrot, but I'm deep, deep, deep into Gypsies because I believe what came from Africa to Southern Europe. And I was recently with the Gypsy Kings. Yes,
You were?
in San
I'm
Francisco.
jealous.
Yes. They're French, you know?
Yes, I'm jealous. Well, this is called Gypsies, and this is about what I was saying. My mantra is taking an unfortunate situation and turning it into treasure and into experience. And so, here we go. And the Conch Republic is Key West, because they separated themselves from the United States for, I think, about 2 minutes or something. And my friend Billy Wardlow, his father was mayor at the time, and he actually said, okay, we're cutting off from the United States, and it only lasted for a few minutes, but that's how they got their name, the Conch Republic. And there's more history behind it.
And you just gave me an idea, and I'm looking at Patrick right now. We got to trademark the Count Republic, because the Bear Flag Republic happened in Sonoma. The Count is the founder of Buena Vista. And now is the trademark to use the word republic, the Count's Republic.
There you go.
Would it be a cool trademark?
That's great.
I love it.
See?
Watch out, dear friends, a new brand is coming out.
That's right.
See, you inspire me.
I love it. See what happens? You're around creative people and more magic happens. Conch Republic. Conch Republic. We're the kind who swim to the middle of the ocean just to get a better view. We like to sip our own little potion until we finally break loose.
I do what I'm told.
There you go. Oh, this ship is about to sail. If you wanna be free, escape from your own jail. Come on, be with me. Let's be gypsies. Let's be gypsies. Come on, come steal all the hate, turn it into love. Whoa, be the escaping, not the ones who judge. Whoa, let's be gypsies. Let's be gypsies. Conch Republic. See the waves on the shore. It's a sign we're coming to pick you up, to show you how to dance. Woo! Hear the bells, feel the ground as it shakes your world. Come on, break the rules, give yourself a chance. Oh, this ship is about to sail. If you wanna be free, escape from your own jail. Come on and be with me. Come on, be with me. Let's be gypsies.
Unbelievable. Break the rules. Come on with me.
Yeah.
Be gypsies.
Yeah.
Well, that was amazing.
Thank you.
And dear friends, I'm having shivers of excitement. I mean, it's magnetic. Her voice and the guitar
Thank you.
next to me. I mean, we have a little space, and I could take it in, and it was magic. So I cannot
you.
wait looking at the Maikamas, the Vacas Mountain, to see you perform. We'll put major speakers because your voice is phenomenal.
Thank you. Thank you. I would love
Phenomenal.
it. That would be one of the greatest gifts, I think.
It's done. You tell us when. You know, we obviously in the winter, and we luckily have rain right now, which is finally the God listened to us.
Yes.
But it would be great to do it as early as you wish, and whenever you decide to come back from Key West and do it for us.
I would love that. I would love it, love it, love it. That would be amazing.
And you know, I really want to thank Veronica. She's amazing.
Yes.
And she's wearing leopard today, which is obviously the animal that I was part of. I'm half leopard, half tiger. Depending on which time of the day you see me.
I'm a Leo, so.
Ooh! Well, let's bring the lion together.
Yeah.
So you have such an incredible life, and I mean, a lot of what you want to say to us is in your songs, and
it's true. Yeah.
I love your lyric,
Thank you.
and breaking the rules and being yourself, and you're so together. It's incredible.
Right now.
Well,
thank you.
But in order to be together, you have to be not together.
Exactly. I'm exactly in that lyric. Sometimes you have to fall apart to come together.
And we all have our ways to fall apart.
Absolutely. And sometimes it's fun, and sometimes it's bad, and sometimes it's good, and sometimes it's you can't stay on one thing for too long, or you miss out on everything else.
And I'll tell you someday, how do I break out? Because we all do.
Well, that's been the hardest part of this whole thing, is I want to ask you so many questions. So.
Well, we'll have to be back, and I will answer one day those questions.
Can you imagine if we did a reverse switch where I sit there and you sit here? And
well, the only challenge is I cannot play the guitar.
But you can do a lot of things I can't, I'm certain.
Well, not much.
I don't
not
believe
much.
It. I don't believe it.
So you know, Kristen, what would be fabulous if, as you look at the beautiful camera, maybe you give a big statement, a line of wisdom, or anything you want to share with the world about you, about life, about maybe an advice to everyone, maybe whatever you wish to do as we toast. Because we're going to have you back on the show many times.
Oh, thank you.
If you accept.
Of course.
And the beauty is we're going to have you not more importantly, but as importantly, perform.
Thank you.
So everybody could see you in a big way in the vines, being yourself.
That would be awesome.
Painting. We'll bring Truffle and Frenchie. We'll keep them apart. And we'll see what they can do together.
Cheers.
You know.
I'm excited.
Me too. So as we taste the wines from your land, from your vineyards, because this is, you know, exactly where it's from, Howell Mountain.
I can definitely tell. I can tell.
The floor is yours. The stage is yours. What am I saying?
I've had a lot of different chapters in my life, high, low, and in between. And if I had to give any advice to anybody out there, it would be never let anybody tell you who you are. And always be who you are. Because had I been comfortable being myself earlier on, there may have been a more meaningful journey for me and my art and music that I was creating. And yes, I've played catch up, but I do wish that I had been a little bit more just not afraid. And fear is, if you feel fear, you have to look into it and run towards it. And I sometimes ran away from it. And so I fully believe in running right into the eye of fear and owning whatever it is.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Not only brilliant.
No matter what it is.
Dear friends, not only I want to cry of joy and excitement, you're bringing, as you could see, all those emotions into me, because I think you said it so well. Dear friends, repeat this on YouTube. Write the beautiful sentence that you just said, and maybe it's your post-it in your powder room, maybe it's in your kitchen counter, maybe it is in your bedroom, but this is so important. It
is important, no matter what. You know, you don't have to be an artist to look at it that way. And my YouTube channel is something that every vlog, I'm now releasing every Wednesday a vlog that I show my life, but I always try to wrap a lesson into it.
Yes.
And with that, I hope that I'm giving back lessons I've learned.
I'm speechless. Almost. Not that I can ever be, as you all know. But this is beautifully said.
Thank you. It's
thank
honest.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having been with us over this last hour. Unbelievable.
Well, don't forget to be authentic and don't forget to have fun.
That's right. And dear friends, be yourself. Mm-hmm. We all, as you said earlier, meant to be here for a reason.
Right.
We may be 9 billion, it may be too much, not enough. Who is to say? Maybe we'll live on top of one another. Mm-hmm. I want to be under and on top, depending on the day. You know that. And I think we meant to collaborate. We meant to do things together. We meant to express ourselves.
Yes.
And as you said so well, whatever we do, everything we do is important. Whoever we are, we have a role to play. Mm-hmm. If we are sent down here or up here, whichever way you want to look at it.
It's so rare to even be born.
That's right.
The chance, I can't remember what the odds are, but you can Google it, and it's insane. The chances of even being alive and being born, we all were the strongest swimmers, and we all made it through. So what are you going to do with that?
And my swimmers are powerful. Hello to the twins. My daughters. Because they will watch you. And they're great singers and great artists. I see it. And they sometimes very shy. So I think the advice you just gave them as an example, and to everybody who wants to come out of their shell, now is the time.
That's right. Cheers.